joining me this weekend, this Saturday, day after Good Friday. Tomorrow is Easter. Welcome to the channel. Glad everyone is here. Good to see each and every one of you. We'll let you all fill in to the chat. Sorry, as I knock this over, tripod. Wait for everyone to gather in before we get started. Today's kind of a celebratory landmark video, I guess you could call it. Not really a goal that I had set, but here we are, and we'll talk about that. It's been 8 years, thousands of subs, and I'll tell you, it's been quite a journey, this channel, as far as we've gotten in the 8 years. You know, a coin, thousands of subs later, and today marks 30,000 subs. So that's kind of a special, I guess celebratory thing, and I don't know how accurate it is. I've heard all kinds of conspiracy theories when it comes to YouTube. And as we saw that last year, we lost some subs. There was chaos, as you know. And this channel's never been bashful about its political views, its beliefs, the values and things that I stand for and that I stand by, principles, you name it. So that might have cost us a little bit over time, but that's all right, because I think, if anything, it's like purifying silver and gold. It's like we melted out the impurities, those that really don't belong here. And what I'm left with is people like Yeregas, Deliaragas, and all of the members of this channel, those of you that are both patrons, the Patreon community, and the channel members, the ones that keep this channel motivated, communicate with us off screen. You know, not just in the video sense, but in messages, and submit things like articles and ideas. And we've got Lisa Willis here. Good to see you. Thank you for being part of this channel. DW, Mimaru, welcome. Michael Marini, good to see you. And yes, this is the 30,000 subscribers, followers. We've got Call of the Wild. Thank you. That's right. I was going to shout you out, and then your name went by. I knew there was a Patreon member here. Rick Enfed, good to see you as well. And good to see you all. Johnny Boy Silver, good to see you also, channel member, friend. Carlos Danger, there's a name that's been in the chat for years. Ever since, I think, my first live, probably, Carlos Danger was there. Now this channel, as you know, it's been here for, well, since the date on the coin. And there's times where I've been off for quite a while. And Joe Travellini, thank you, my friend. You were here back before 30,000. You were. And during the different times in my life, there's been times where I've almost shut the channel down, or I've just been kind of burnt out by it. And maybe the news, not you guys, but just the cycle of everything. And as, you know, life changes or whatever, I got to a point a few years ago where I wasn't really doing a whole lot with the channel. DDub Gibbs, good to see you, my friend. And look at the coin next to your name. You have a gold stater. I love that. That means you've been a channel member for quite a while. Well, the channel, you know, I had stopped doing videos for a pretty good period of time there. And then Mrs. Maltby, she just didn't let me quit. She didn't let me kind of just stop, or she was one, and I've told you guys this before, is she set up a spot in her office for me. She gave me her computer. She hooked up all the different things, mics. She even helped me on the technical side of things, the technology, how to split screens with the other monitor she had that she also loaned me. And she really just kind of motivated me to get back at it. She knew that it was something I liked, and that it was, if anything, it had a mission to it. I think a good cause, sound money, economics, history, coinage, numismatics, learning all these things, discussing them, keeping this community and the ideas of it alive, and to spread them as well. So she really helped do that. And think about it. Before Mrs. Maltby came along, there was no emojis. No members of the channel. I wasn't doing anything with the community tab. I was kind of just doing the news and piddling along, and it really helped. All of that effort that she's put in, even the Teespring, all the shirts, the designs, she brought me and this channel and all of you, this community, the art. Let's not forget, I mean, all the art that she's produced to a new direction, you know, new life breathed into it. And it's really making it a good time. It's fun. I'm glad to see you guys showing up with the energy and the enthusiasm, the support, being part of the channel, helping the channel, just, again, communicating as far as the articles, ideas, books, all kinds of news notifications. I tease you all as being reporters in the field. Different Junius Maltby subscribers often act as kind of foreign correspondents or dispatchers somewhere else. Like I'll get stuff from the Middle East, from Europe, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, you name it, Canada. And it's always nice to get those personal experiences rather than something like that's produced on a mainstream narrative. But yeah, you guys have really, you've been there. We've been through a lot. We've been, again, since 2013, you look at just the course of politics and the economy. And then, of course, who knows where we're going to be 8 years from now. This is just 8 years ago. This was founded, and 8 years from now, who knows what it's going to look like. And it's interesting, you know, I'm looking at this coin right now, and I got something special to say about both of these. I won't touch them, but these are destined for channel members and patrons. We're going to talk about that. But this coin, when we came up with the Maltby channel round, these designs, and put it together, it was to celebrate about the 10,000 mark. That's right about when 10,000 members, we were like right below it, and we thought of doing a coin for just a kind of a celebration of that benchmark and a way to kind of create a challenge coin or something of that nature, something that you guys could keep with you that had the images and the summary of this channel kind of featured on it on both sides. And so there you go. That's what we did. And you guys helped achieve it. It was thanks to channel members like you, all of you, that made that coin possible. And of course, nowadays, we also have the ANCAT, who's here somewhere right now, or she's on the lap of Mrs. Maltby. So we've got the ANCAT as part of this channel. A lot of things have come and changed. Now, let's talk about these two channel rounds right now, because it's important. This is it's kind of a testament to who you guys are, who the channel is, the people that make it up. These two rounds were donated by a channel member. Now, I never know when this is going to happen. I never know. It's random. I get contacted. It's only happened twice, really, that I can recall directly. There was the time where a channel member found out there was a lot of you that were perhaps newer channel members or had missed out on the opportunity to acquire a channel round back then when they were first struck. And as many of you know, we ceased minting these, or not we, I didn't really have a say in it. The mint that was minting these, Quality Silver Bullion, affiliated with Regency Mint, they were acquired by them, essentially stated they would no longer be minting custom rounds or coinage like these in the way that we were doing it, featuring it on their site and all this. So they just contacted me back then and said, we're going to mail you the dies. We're going to do a final striking. We announced that. And so there it was. That was it. I think 960 or 964. The last video, one of the videos we made announcing the final strike, has the numbers, the exact numbers of how many of these were struck. And it's under 1,000. It's around 960 and change. So we stopped striking them. And ever since then, it seems like it's more and more people want to be able to have access to one, or to have one to add to their stack, their collection. But at this point, they'll never be struck again like you see here. I have the dies, and this is it. Like the 960 or so that exists, that's it forever. There might be variations in the future, perhaps just one side, just the obverse here, but you'll never get the round where there's the obverse and reverse featured like this again. And it just doing that for everyone who purchased them back in the day, to kind of create what was an unanticipated numismatic valuation at that point. I mean, the fact that there's only 960, they'll never be minted again in this configuration with these designs. Like essentially, this is it. So, and the thing with that is there's people that want them. And there's twofold. The viewer, the subscriber, the channel member that donated both of these did so with the idea of supporting the channel, because he said, hey, the last time you guys had a round or two donated and auctioned them off, it helped benefit the channel. I'd like to do the same thing. But the second reason it's twofold is he saw so many viewers that didn't have access to these, that didn't have one, that wanted one perhaps. He felt like, hey, why do I have a whole tube of 20? Because that's true. A lot of you did back then order a tube of 20 of these rounds. And so he has 18 now. And he's like, I'm going to send you 2. I would like them to end up with channel members or patrons that don't have them yet, that don't have access, couldn't buy them, and would really like one and value one. So what we decided to do is, similar to last time, I can't control when this happens, when these are sent or donated for a fundraising thing like this. But when it does happen, I go with the viewer, the channel member's wishes. And so how we're going to do this is we are going to auction it to support the channel. 1 coin each here. There's 2. 1 I will post in the community tab of this channel. So don't bid here. Don't put anything down below this video. If you're a channel member, it's pretty easy. You go to the community tab, and there are members only posts in there that only the channel members can see on that community tab. So I'll click on that. I'll put a picture. Actually, I'll put, what do you think, Mrs. Maltby, the video or a picture of the coin?
Picture.
Picture, okay. So we'll just post a picture of the coin in the community tab, and you can just then bid below that in the comments. And that'll be just for channel members only on that side of things. And then the Patreon for the patron members, not leaving you guys out. If you're a patron member, I'm also going to post a picture of 1 of these coins in Patreon as a post. And just there is where the patron members, the Patreons, will be able to bid. So there's so many Patreon members, there's so many channel members. It might end up completely different. Some of you do both. The goal here is, again, just to get these in the hands of individuals that would like to have them, that don't have one, and make it nice for them. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to make somebody happy. 2 of you hopefully happy, because I know there's a lot of you that have asked for this coin that don't have one, and now will be your chance to get one. And there is, of course, just so all of you know, Mrs. Maltby's artwork is in the process of being looked at, and they're figuring out a way to incorporate that into a bar after so many of you requested it. The last 2 months, I know, I can't even count. I wish I had $1 for every time one of you said, put Mrs. Maltby's artwork on a bar. I'll buy it. Put her art, put an artwork on a bar, a silver bar, whatever. So we did exploring on that and contacted a few places to see what's possible. We had a channel member that was also interested in helping facilitate that and looking out there, trying to find some contacts, people that might be able to make that happen. And it looks like that is going to happen. So be excited. Let me take a sip of this jasmine infused green tea and continue on here. Let me see, what's that? And pay attention tomorrow, all of you, because tomorrow the new silver raid will be announced by Mrs. Maltby with all of her new artwork for the channel. The new silver raid things will launch on the channel tomorrow. She's got some really cool new designs. You have not seen them yet. You've seen a sneak peek. The channel members have seen a sneak peek. The general public haven't seen anything yet. But there is a pretty incredible design that you're going to have to see that Mrs. Maltby came up with. And I'm going to actually physics hypernova for some of the influence, because he and I have discussed, and he's always sent me images and really been fascinated by the Federal Reserve and the Aldrich plan and all of that. So I'm not going to ruin the surprise for Mrs. Maltby tomorrow, but just think Aldrich plan a little bit with Silver Raid, and you've got it going on. It's going to be super cool. It's an amazing image. And today we were actually talking about, we were so excited about just the artwork that she's been doing, some other designs in the future that you guys might enjoy. So here's the 2 coins. Again, I'm gonna handle them real quick because they're actually remarkable. I think these things lived in a tube. I mean, I had this one. They might even be some of the earliest strikes. I wouldn't know. I don't know enough on coinage to be able to tell. I mean, they're just like, they look deep, very, very clean. I've got them in plastic slips, but yeah, these are just, they're just bullion strikes. They're not like proofs or anything like that. They're not reverse proofs, but they have incredible detail. Now, as many of you know, I was going to tell you a little bit more about this. I saw Lisa Willis ask a question, and I'll answer it real quick. Lisa asked about the reverse of this round here, this image. And, well, that right there, Lisa, is called the Amagi symbol, Amagi. It's Sumerian, and it's cuneiform wedge. They would press those wedges into clay tablets to make some of the earliest written language that humans ever attained. And the image you see there is the word Amagi, which is the first time humans ever wrote the word for freedom or liberty. But it's a little deeper than that. It's not just freedom like we think, the freedom to vote or the freedom to, that Americans think. This was true, pure liberty or freedom. Like, there's a lot of ways it's described when reading about it. And it's more like manumission, or the release from servitude or slavery, to be released, to be essentially released from a debt. And that, to me, being, in other words, they also called it being returned to the mother, or to return to the mother, which I don't fully understand that concept as much, but it's again, there's multiple ways that, what would you call them, linguists, they're like, I don't know, archaeolinguists, or people that study like ancient or extinct languages. And I've read just different descriptions of this word, the meaning and its origins to the culture at the time. But it's the first time, again, that humans wrote the word for liberty or freedom. Manumission, to be released from servitude or debt, true freedom. And as you can see there, it's got a quite a nice shine to it. Up here you see Aurum et Argentum, gold and silver, Libertas down there. And of course, on the other side, we have the face of Marsyas with 1 ounce fine silver written right there in his shoulder. This image, the 3-dimensional image of Marsyas, was engraved by Luigi Badia. He's you can look him up. He's a famed engraver, a very talented engraver, skilled in the Greco-Roman style of art, as you can. And we couldn't have picked a better engraver to make the image that would eventually become the die for this round. And then, of course, the year the channel was founded. Not they were struck. The year the channel was founded down here, 2013. They're roughly the exact same size as a Silver Eagle. I think they're 31 millimeters. And I actually borrowed this 1 ounce fine silver. That's exactly the way you would see it written on a Silver Eagle. I think it's a nice way of putting it. It's a remarkable way of writing it. So, there you have it. And as you know, Marsyas, there's the 2 rounds. We'll talk about Marsyas real quick. It's a Greek satyr. The Romans and the Greeks discussed him, that he challenged the god Apollo to a musical contest after finding a flute. And for the audacity of challenging a god to a duel, Apollo had him tied to a tree and then skinned him alive, filleted him. And he ended up becoming a symbol or an image of speaking truth to power, essentially challenging the gods, challenging authority. And there was also in the Roman Forum a place where the plebe, the common man, could post writings or, I believe, protests and such. And it became a symbol of speaking truth to power, challenging the authorities, questioning free speech. He became a symbol of free speech, this Marcius, this satyr in Rome, because he was tortured for essentially challenging the gods, challenging the authorities. And so it's a very fitting image for this channel, what we do here, if you follow me. And I don't know if you guys believe in things call to you or you think certain ways, or sometimes things just kind of influence you and you don't really know why certain things occur. But I'll just share with you how I came upon this particular image, and you can tell me if you think it means something or why. I'm not going to get weird about it. I'm just going to tell you how this image ended up on this coin. I had to drink some tea again before story time. So I had a really special trip once. It was just me and my dad and an uncle who's a professor and two great aunts. And we went to Italy to look at some museums. I was a younger man and just I got to go see a lot of really cool sights and things. And one of the first places we went was the Capitoline Museum in Rome. And in that museum is a statue of Marcius. I'd never heard of it before. I'd never seen it, even though I was kind of raised with the awareness of certain Western art pieces and things, different ones that are more well-known. And we're walking through this museum. I'm kind of lagging behind because I'm just looking at everything, taking it all in, taking some pictures. And I go into this, I turn this one corner, and when you walk through the doorway, there's to your right the statue, an ancient Roman statue of Marcius, with his arms stretched up above him, tied, and is just a tortured look on his face. Just an incredible statue, an incredible piece of sculpture. And I'm sure they don't even know who sculpted that piece because it was during the ancient times. They didn't really keep track of some of these names. Like they don't know who carved some of the greatest pieces in history even that existed from that time. And it caught me by surprise. I stood there staring at the statue, at the face. I'd never heard of it. I don't know. I'm sure my uncle knew more about it. And I took a couple of pictures of it. It kind of set with me for a while, though, that statue. Even later on, when I would look at photos that I'd taken, it was really one of the ones that stood out at me. Now, when I first started this channel, I needed to put up an icon, an image that represented this channel, a picture of the characterization of this channel. And that's the image I chose, was the face of Marcius from that statue that I took. And it was there for years on this channel. And the thing that's interesting is I didn't know at the time exactly what Marcius was and represented way back then, but it was the symbol of the channel. Then I went about reading about him later on, and it was actually the time when we were putting the coin together, really. That's really how it just all came together. I started researching the face of the channel, this statue in the Capitoline Museum. And then it led me down the whole path of educating myself on the story of Marcius, who he was, what happened, why, how. And then it was like, I didn't really pick this guy to be on the coin. It's almost like he picked us, if you think of it. It's kind of bizarre. It's an interesting thing. I mean, it was really, I don't know, fate. That it was just accidental to take a picture, feel something from a statue, and then have it be that meaningful, that impactful, to where the values and everything it represents is truly what you and I value and was represented here. That speaking truth to power, challenging Apollo, challenging the Fed, the central banks, the elites, the politicians, this whole system. So yes, quite symbolic and impactful, meaningful that this happened, that it ended up on the coin. So that's the story of Marcius. The image here that you see is not the exact statue. We just couldn't get a good enough image for this coin. This is another Marcius, because again, the Greeks and the Romans, they would carve the same theme various times, various artists in the ancient world. And there is a statue of Marcius in the Louvre in France, another remarkable one. It looks almost identical, very similar, very, very similar to the one that was in Rome. And this image that you see here is the image of the profile taken from this angle of the Marcius statue in the Louvre in Paris, which I've never been to, and I'd love to. Take Mrs. Maltby there and check it out. So again, to bid on either one of these coins, you must be a channel member or a Patreon member. So I'm sure most of you that are either one of those know if you are or not. The join button can be found down below this video or anywhere on our YouTube page, or you can go over to Patreon. There's a Patreon link also in every video description, and that's in the About tab as well. But just a tremendous thank you again, all of you that brought this channel to this point, to make it worth it, to make it to where there's actually an audience there, that there's somebody to talk to and have this conversation with other than myself and just Mrs. Maltby. You know, if I was just screaming in the wilderness or something, it probably wouldn't last too long. But having people interested in coinage, numismatics, history, the extemporaneous ramblings of myself and Mrs. Maltby, you know, the fact that you guys show some type of appreciation for it and enjoyment and take time out of your day to spend your time here on the channel when you could be doing other things means a lot. You know, you're giving me something valuable. You're giving me time, and time is probably our most valuable thing. That's, I mean, essentially all metal, silver and gold, sound money represent someone's time that someone gave. Ultimately, that's what labor is. You're giving your time and your physical effort, your pain, your body. That's what sound money represents. But it's essentially that's a consumption of time. So when you guys give me time and you're part of this channel, I appreciate it. I really do. You guys brought us to 30,000. I'd love to get to 100,000 because I think it'd be kind of cool to get the silver YouTube button, because it's not real silver, but they give you like this little button apparently once you get to 100. But it took us 8 years to get to 30. So maybe in another 16 years or so, I don't know, 20 years, maybe I'll be at 100,000. Unless something crazy happens and then I go viral. Like Maxine Waters calls me before the magistrate bench to grill me on the silver squeeze movement or whatever my role was in, you know, peer pressuring people into buying sound money for decades on end, with the whole goal in mind and the whole attempt at destroying their financial structure and ending the Federal Reserve System, the central banks, the fractional reserve, debt-based Ponzi nightmare, the scheme, the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex, the most violent, evil, debauched, degenerate system that has ever existed. Yeah, that was my goal, Mrs. Waters. Do you have any more questions about why I do what I do and founded my channel? It was to get sound money into the hands of the people. And yeah. Any other? And let's go to the audience real quick. There's Mrs. Maltby. She's still a little bit under the weather. Do you have anything to add, Mrs. Maltby? Little quiet, shaky head girl.
I mean, obviously a thank you. I feel bad because I would like to thank people better, but I'm feeling really, really sick right now. So I feel like I can't speak on the night that I would like to. So I hope people know that I am truly thankful for all of them and for supporting and welcoming me onto the channel and accepting me as part of your channel.
Mrs. Maltby, I don't know if you guys all heard that, but she's very thankful to all of you for being there and just accepting her onto the channel and being so open and kind and welcoming to her as being part of this channel as well. So, yeah, definitely glad to have all of you here, and just a wonderful community of people. Let's see here. Yeah, she's still a little sick, just so all of you know. That's why she's a little bit muted. That's why today you won't hear her as much. It's just she's fighting it. She's kicking butt, but she's still a little bit under the weather, a little muted. And I'm going to give her maybe some tea later. Or maybe I'll make her a turmeric, cayenne pepper, honey, cinnamon / herbal concoction. I don't know. We'll see. She wouldn't. She's shaking it. She wouldn't drink that. I'm looking forward to putting these in the community tab and the patron tab side of things, Patreon site, so you guys can, again, check them out. All the links will be here on the channel. And other than that, that's all we had for tonight. Was just a tremendous thank you to all of you that are part of this channel, members, patrons, all of you that made it what it is over the years. Let's see. Physics Hypernova is saying there's a new Demonocracy image I'm going to have to make a video on, and I will. I will do that. Let's see. The Silver Road, again, the Silver Raid poster out tomorrow with the new Teespring things. Don't remember that. Mrs. Maltby's putting all that together for tomorrow. So take a look at that. Be ready. And just check the community tab. And you guys will see what we're talking about.
Thank you for supporting the ANCAT as well.
And yes, thank you for supporting the ANCAT as well, all of you. The auction for these will start tonight. I'll go put them over on the tab later on, and we'll check it. How long is it going for, you think? Till Friday or Saturday of next week?
I don't know.
We'll go a week. We'll go next Sunday. We'll close, or Saturday, sorry. Saturday night or whatever. We'll shut it down. So a week from now, like 7 days. I think that sounds perfect. Is that about right? Or time-wise, what would that be? And it's also going to include I'll send with both of them the description of the coin, and it'll be signed by myself. I have a printout that I do that I sent with most of the coins, and I will include that with each one of these. You'll get a signed document with the description of the coin, the images on it, and kind of a background of it, just to keep with it. It's kind of a nice thing to have. I think most of you will like the way it's presented that way. And again, just Mrs. Maltby, she feels bad because she can't participate in the live tonight. But again, it's not just her COVID. Just remember, it's also her chronic illness, her chronic pain condition that she lives with. So she's under the weather quite a bit. And sometimes when it combines with anything she's got, if she is already sick, if she gets a sickness or an illness, and that kind of compounds itself on top of what she already lives with. So all the best to her. I'll make sure I follow all of your guys' little herbal advice and get her something to make her feel better later. Hydrate. Some herbs, some medicine, get her immune system boosted. And that'll be it. Yes. Happy Easter to each and every one of you.
Community tab for the updates.
And I'll see you guys over in the community tab for the updates later on. Everyone have a wonderful, blessed Easter, each and every one of you. Tomorrow, be well. There will be no video tomorrow. Just enjoy your day. Enjoy your time with family and your loved ones. And just enjoy the wonderful day tomorrow. All right. Everyone have a good rest of your evening. Thanks for being here. Take care.